Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. This morning, as I see daylight arriving here in May of 2018, we have Kessler, the second best-selling blended whiskey in America, introduced in 1888. 80 proof and blended at a 72.5, 27.5% ratio. All right, kind of an unusual number, 72.5 to 27.5, because usually it's 80-20 these days. American blended whiskey. Now, it doesn't say Kentucky, meaning, and that is because it's distilled probably at Indiana Midwest Grain Products, formerly Seagram. Seagram's owned Kessler until Beam-Suntory bought it. So now it says blended and bottled by Julius Kessler Company, Frankfort and Claremont, Kentucky. Well, Julius Kessler Company hasn't been independent since like 1935. Okay, it got bought out by Seagram's. Well, anyway, it's American blended whiskey. Okay, so what it's at least blended and bottled in Kentucky. Now here's Heaven Hill, mild and mellow Kentucky blended whiskey. Now this one says Kentucky blended whiskey. Yep, that means that's the designation. That's got to be correct in the title. In other words, it's distilled, blended, and bottled in Kentucky. So if it says American, it's distilled somewhere in America. I am in America. But if it gives you the state, then there you go. Okay, so that's, I know it, you say, how do you know all these things? Just reading the website for the United States Tax and Trade Bureau, darling. Heaven Hill's #1 Kentucky blended whiskey. So this is the #1 blended whiskey for Heaven Hill. No, it is not the #1 blended whiskey. It is in Louisiana, probably. Well, let me retract that. I guess the #1 selling blended American style blended whiskey in Louisiana is Seagram 7, because that is like actually one of the top selling whiskeys of any style in Louisiana. But this is the really big time selling cheap whiskey, you know, the inexpensive one, because all the stores have it, and it's at all the gas stations and every type of bottle size you ever wanted to see. And there's the old country store wooden placard, you know, trying to make it look like that old country store sign. And I found a date for this of 19. I like the way you could feel the writing on there. I mean, it's very elevated. 1953, I believe. I think the company was started in 1933. Family-owned company. Okay, some more information. This is blended at they're both 80 proof. This is blended at an 80-20 ratio. It's aged 3 years, and they use sour mash whiskey as the straight whiskey in there. Okay, so you probably, I don't know, Heaven Hill bourbon, is it sour mash? I don't know, because we can't get, that's all we get here. Kessler's aged 2 long years. 2 long years. It's probably young Jim Beam. It tastes like it. You know, like you start tasting it. It tastes like that Greenwood, that cellar mold type Jim Beam thing. That distinctive weird Jim Beam. That weird Jim Beam ideology. They probably used to use Seagram's. So I don't know. Maybe they used Benchmark before 2000 because that was a Seagram's bourbon to make Kessler. I don't know. Seagram's was a huge company and they owned all kind of brands. All kind of brands of straight whiskey and everything. Straight, blended, bourbon, Canadian, Scotch. Okay. Scotch whiskey. I think the Kessler's is a little darker. Yes, that's Kessler's. It's more amber and this one's more gold, but it isn't a big difference. It's a little difference. Maxwell says, hello, Ron. I am glad to see you. I'm glad to hear from you, Maxwell. Alexander Malley says, damn, you drinking this early? Haha, legendary. Well, I'm not drinking. I'm testing. I'm tasting. It's a tasting exercise. I would never dream of drinking whiskey at, 5:45 in the morning, 5:47. That's outrageous, unacceptable, and ridiculous. But I am doing a tasting in the name of science and frivolity. ZJ says, you're asterisk. You're asterisk. You're a star. I don't know what to mean. Wayne Banks, good morning, fine sir. Good morning to you, Wayne. Thanks for joining me for this tasting, people. Not drinking. Wouldn't drink whiskey this time of the morning. Would taste it, though, for, like I said, general principles, barometric pressure, and theoretics. Round and round we go. Where we'll stop, we do know on the desk here. We're going to mix them up. Holding in the hay, holding in the hay. Okay, I think I will be able to tell them apart. And I think it is going to be because the Kessler has that Jim Beam-esque style of flavor. And I think it's because the Heaven Hill just tastes like straight old grain alcohol with a little wood. I'm serious. Now, why would it be so popular if it tastes like grain alcohol, corn liquor, and a little wood with a little bit of sourdough bread? I gotta admit, okay, a little sourdough bread. But you say, but that's just like a basic cheap whiskey. There's the answer why it's popular in Louisiana, because it's a basic. And let's focus on the most important consideration around here: cheap whiskey. A bottle for $6.19. And I've been looking around at different stores. It's like the high-end grocery stores, it's $6.99. Okay. The low-end stores, it's $6.19. So that's your range on it. You go to racetrack, they all have bottles, glass bottles, $6.19. Oh, wow. Now, Kessler's might be the second most popular blended whiskey in America, but it's like about the 70th most popular in Louisiana. I'm talking about just blended because you don't see it. I got this beautiful plastic container, and there's nothing says quality like the thud of plastic, And I don't even know if it's sold in glass bottles around here because Dorgnac sells it and Aquistapace sells it in the big jug handle bottles. I mean, it trickles out of the store. I bet you Beam's 8-star does better than that at better than this at Dorgnac's. And I think, well, Carstairs probably trickles out of Aquistapace. Aquistapace has the big jug bottles of Carstairs. $12.99. $12.99. I'm serious for a 1,750 milliliter bottle of blended American whiskey, aged 4 years. And that's the good thing about Carstairs. It's aged 4 years, and it has a unique little flavor. And the man who cares buys Carstairs. Somebody told me it was in this parish at a convenience store, but I don't know if I believe that. Amazing. Mr. Amazing says, good morning, sir. Good morning to you. Okay, time for the test. Here we go. Oh, Okay. Gosh, that smells like sourdough bread, wood, and corn liquor. You know what I mean? Like my eye is kind of swollen because I think I got like dust and grit in both eyes last week when I was cutting the grass. You know, it's been so dry out here. And then my left eye got like infected, not the eyeball, you know, like the skin around it, like a sty, and then it went away. And then this one started bothering me yesterday. But I'm not going to mess with it. You know, it should clear up. It's kind of like a pimple on the skin by your eye. You know, it's so tender. The skin around your eye is so tender. I know I want to do a video or beer review today, but people are going to keep saying, what's wrong with your eye? Okay. Now this one here. Does smell a little Jim Beam-ish. A little rich, a little fuller nose of that. I can't ever describe Jim Beam. It's kind of like William Kepley says. Yeah, he's around. He talks to us on Beer Talk 2018. But it's like he says, you can't describe it, but you know it when you see it. And I can't describe Jim Beam, but I know it when I see it. It's strange. They might use Evan Williams for Heaven Hill, though. Maybe they're using Evan Williams, and it's a 3-year age. Like, but I don't think it's the. Yeah, I don't know. The green label. I don't know because I don't know. I think the green label's sour mash, right? And it's charcoal filtered. They changed something on the. They changed some of the formula for Evan Williams, if you notice. Like the old labels, I think for the black label used to also say charcoal filtered, but now all of a sudden it's just the green label that says charcoal filtered. And I look carefully at the store all around, and they're not the same. And I know the black label's 4-year age and the green label's 3-year age. But I think what makes the green label perhaps better is the charcoal filtering before. And don't they do it after it comes out the barrel? I know Jack Daniels, they always say it's better because they charcoal filter it before it goes in the barrel. I know Jim Beam Choice, they always say, oh, no, it's better to charcoal filter after it comes out the barrel. I'm no scientist. I'm no distiller. I don't know. Oh, okay, on aroma only, I think this got to be Heaven Hill, but now I haven't tasted it really. Just wear sunglasses, says Dilly Dilly. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not too bad. I got to answer comments later. I haven't answered any comments since yesterday afternoon. Haven't had a chance. This tastes pretty standard, like just standard. Grain alcohol, a little wood, and a little sourdough. Like if you're a bourbon drinker, you're gonna say, "Oh, this stuff has nothing, has no character." It's like, well, it'd be like if you drank only Bock beers and then you drink a light beer. You'd say, "Ooh, there's no flavor. It's so light." Oh no, it's light beer, and you're drinking Bock and Dunkelbock and Hellesbock. You know, you're going from 6% down to 4, 3.8, 4, 4.2, and the body's much thinner and the calories are much lower. So you're going to get that lightness. And here, the blended whiskeys, you get that lightness. Some of you are going to say, no, you mean the cheapness. Well, yeah, it's cheaper because they're using unaged corn, basically corn whiskey, you know. So yeah, it's going to be cheaper because time is money, and it costs time. It takes time to age the stuff in the wood barrels, the charred wood barrels. So of course, it's cheap because time is money, right? In business, time is money. Okay. This one definitely has more wood character. I mean, there's no more rye too. There's no argument there, I don't think. Now you might say, yeah, but it's only aged 2 years, so how could it have that? I don't know how it could have it. It just does. It has more of that green wood, that Jim Beam. It's like Jim Beam is really weird because it's like they're aging it in wood that's still green. Now I know that's not correct, right? There's no way that's happening. It just tastes that way, and I don't know what it is about it. Now, which one's better? Okay. I think I will stick with my maker's mark, says Wayne. Yeah, I can't argue against that. And now I see that Mathern says maker's mark mint julep. It's like a premix. I said, whoa, I never even tried regular maker's mark yet. But I mean, I intend to. Okay, all right. If you like sourdough bread, kind of like a bagel, like the Linder's bagel type or Thomas bagels. Okay, all right. I can see how some people would like this. Blah, da, 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 yada, yada, yada. Nudge, wink, wink. Say no more, say no more. All right. But then I can see how people would like this one. Which one's better, though? Yeah, I think that one's better. I just like the little sourdough character. Sorry, Kessler. I got to go with Heaven Hill this time. They're the same price here. Same price. Same price. Same price. $16.99 for the 1,750 milliliter bottle. You might find it on sale $15.99. Oh, and Winn-Dixie's got, you know, Winn-Dixie's got their bourbon, straight bourbon now, aged 3 years. I'm sure it's the best, right? Straight bourbon for $12.99 for the big 1,750 milliliter bottle. It's probably just ancient age with a different label. I mean, I think that's what it probably is because, get it? Buffalo Trace Distillery, aged 3 years. What comes from them that's aged 3 years? Ancient age. You know, why not just... I'm pretty sure people buying Winn-Dixie brand bourbon aren't going to sit there and analyze that too detailed, right? And they got their Canadian blended whiskey, the same thing, $12.99. Which one is that? Oh, I don't know. Sazerac has an enormous portfolio of Canadian whiskeys. It could be one of 25. Okay, so I think this is Heaven Hill. I did it. You see, you can still learn. You can learn. You can learn. You can learn if you practice. Practice makes perfect. I got a lot of practicing to do. I put on the bottle HHK, Heaven Hill, Kentucky. Yep. Oh, man. Sorry, Kessler. Heaven Hill's a little better to me. So I would buy Heaven Hill. Any plans for some single malt scotches? Yes. This is cold since 92, asked me. I certainly have plans for that. Can't say when it'll be. Might be years. Now, I'm not saying that to be flip or to make a joke. If you look at my cabinets, I literally have years of brands left. Because I went on that big spending spree, you know, buying this, that, all these sales. Now with the gas prices going up, the prices of commodities is going to go up. You know, brands are going to go up. And so my spending is going to go down. That's okay because I bought it when it was low. I think there's a potential that prices could drop, though, for gas because there's a lot of backstock. You see, they got a lot of backstock. They've been stocking up on gas. So then they have a glut. You know, they'll wind up with a glut. Too much product. And then the prices will crash eventually. Tends to be what happens. But people have this permanent thinking like, oh, gas prices are low in 2016, so I'm going to buy the big SUV and I don't care about gas prices and everybody wants to buy SUVs and I'm not against SUVs. But now they're saying, oh, what am I going to do? The gas is so expensive. Well, I got a car that gets good gas mileage, but I got to think about these high prices I got to pay. Got to think about that with budgeting. I make a budget every month, and I follow it. Okay. Oh well. Enough philosophical explorations of indigenous situational ethics. Oh, well, that's a deep subject. All right. So Heaven Hill wins the battle today. I did not expect that, honestly. I thought Kessler would win, but what's coming up next? I already have it planned. It's Kessler versus I put it on the event page. What was it? Oh, Carstairs. Yeah, I said, well, Carstairs, age 4 years. That could be an interesting. I don't have much Carstairs left. I might have enough Carstairs for 2 taste challenges. That's it. And then, I mean, Kessler is going to get. We're getting. Well, it's kind of like the bread and the fishes. The more I drink, the more is left. This could be something on CBS News one day. You know, CBS Morning News, where a man bought a 200 bottle of Kessler whiskey, and the more he drank, the more it was in the bottle. I would call that a miracle if that happens. But I said this a week ago. I think I got enough left for 2 challenges, and then I drank 3 challenges, and then seems like there's more. That's really strange. Kessler, the whiskey that grows as you drink it, grows in volume. That would be a good marketing approach if you could actually do that. Perpetual motion whiskey. So I got 2 left. Perhaps, maybe it looks like more though. And then once we finish with Kessler, unless that miracle occurs, but once we finish with Kessler, then we'll go with an old favorite you might remember from 2 years ago. Good old McCormick. I thought it was like, oh, you can find this in Texas. I wish we could get it in Louisiana. Everywhere I look in Louisiana now, McCormick here, McCormick there, McCormick everywhere. I said, well, I'll buy another little bottle of McCormick, which William Kepley and myself thought was a little better grade than most of your bottom shelf cheapos. What it had going for it, we don't know, but it had a little extra savoir-faire. So that will take a few weeks to do the McCormick. When you do we do the march through the taste challenges. Then once that's exhausted, I think we will break open a Canadian whiskey, and it looks like it's going to be Canadian Limited, introduced 1972. And I have heard some very good feedback on Canadian Limited, which I was not expecting. I read some reviews, and they were extremely positive. I said, well, I didn't know that Canadian Limited was a thing, but apparently it is a thing with some people. Okay. Thanks for watching this video production. And I have to upload some more beer videos today.